In this session I was going to show how in OABuilder you can create a filtered property and also a calculated reference. Okay, a filter is basically where we can create something that's that can be called to say if something belongs in a collection or not. Basically filter out a collection. And what we have here as far as our requirement is we have Inspire recipients, and when a user logs in we want to scroll for whatever program they're in, showing all of the recent people who have been nominated for an award, and that comes from this Inspire recipient table here. So I basically already set this up, so you can go in here, create a new one. I created just called a recent because we're going to show within the last, I think, 5 days or 30 days or something that could be set up in the program. So create the new one. I can go in there, give it a name, recent, and then I can give a query so it can know how to select them initially from the database. Now that it's selected, and whenever we use it, and keep it up to date as far as real time, and add and remove to the list based on whatever our criteria is. Also can go in and set up any of the information that it needs to be used to determine if it needs to be filtered or not. In this case, all we need to know is completed date. Completed date is the date when this award has been approved and that the recipient is going to receive it. So that means it's been completed, the managers or the required managers approved it and everything. The last part here is the generate the code and then go custom the code a little bit and basically set this up here to there's a method that's going to be put into the filtered objects, which we'll look at next, and it wants to know if a Inspire recipient object is supposed to be used or not. Is it used for the recent filter? It's kind of the naming that it sets up for that. And again, we're going to take the completed date and then compare the completed date, see if it's within the last 30 days, and if it is, then that's going to go in the list. If not, it won't. If a new recipient gets created, if a completed date gets changed, it will automatically update within that list. A new one be added or whatever, removed from the list. Now what we need it from there, or real quick while we're on the filter, if we look at Inspire recipient filter, that's the generated object, and I didn't generate it yet, but basically what it will do is in the Inspire recipient filter class is it will have the code in here that will put that filter in for us, and then we can use it on any collection that has Inspire recipients in. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to, in our model, when a user logs in, we want to show everybody in his program that has a recently received an award, Inspire recipient completed date is within the last 30 days. So what we're going to do is we want to go to our program object, and we're going to create a link because a program has many recent Inspire recipients. So I'm going to create a new link, pick that other table, Inspire recipient. It just drew the link. Now we're going to go in and change some information about this link. So within the editor, it's a one-to-many. A program has many, we're going to say recent. I have some notes here I'm looking for. Recent, yeah. So in this case we're saying a program has many recent Inspire recipients. This is going to be filtered, and it's not a direct relationship. We're going to have some code that's going to basically a formula type thing that's going to create this relationship, so it's calculated. So we can see that our line is now dotted lines to show it's not really a real connection or a real relationship, but one that's formulated. The next thing is the code that's going to go for that. Get recent Inspire recipients. Or first of all, we don't need the code in the Inspire recipient to get the program. So we're going to turn that off so it won't create that method. And that's all we have to do there. Then the last piece we're going to do is go to the code, and since we're customizing this, we're going to go ahead and generate that. I already have that built, so I'm going to just plug it right in here. And here's the method that's going to return the value. So in the program class, there's going to be a method to get the recent Inspire recipients, and basically what that's going to do is it's going to have a hub there. If the hub does not exist, it's going to create it. If this is the server, it will then go ahead and it's going to create it, and it's going to get all of the Inspire recipients in this program. Then it's going to use that filter and filter them out. So basically, from the program has locations have employees. Those employees can be a recipient, Inspire recipient. So we can use a hub merger. From the hub merger, we're going to say, okay, from the employees, go ahead and get all of the recipients. And we already have a hub to get all of the employees under program, which accumulates all those for us. So we're going to reuse this. And then we're going to go ahead and from there get a list of all the Inspire recipients. And basically what that's going to do is that's going to accumulate all of them. That does a hub merger, and that's going to put them into this hub all, this temporary object that we have on the server, or internal object, not a temporary. That's going to put them all in there, and then we're going to use that as the collection that's then going to get filtered and then become our hub, this filtered hub of recent Inspire recipients. So so now the hub is going to be updated and always up to date, and then that's what gets returned from this method call. If you notice that we have the code that says if it's a server. So this is basically saying it's only run this on the server. So on the client, if this method is called, this method here, if the hub hasn't been created yet, it calls the method in OAObject to say get hub. It will then internally, kind of behind the scenes, go to the server. The server will then call its method to get the hub, and then it's going to do its thing, and that's what it returns back to the client. So that's the reason why we only have the server managing this, which is a good idea too, because it's also managing the database and it's closer to everything, and it's a single point to keep this updated. Because remember, all of our hubs in our model are always kept up to date. So whenever the filter is ran and something gets added or removed to this hub, all the clients it gets added or removed. So it's all kind of simultaneous, all kept in sync. And again, that's why we have the is server. This is one of the scenarios where you see some code that says, okay, server side type code, and basically this is all we have to do to make that happen. All right, that's it for this session.